Gen X. And as I mentioned, I am a Gen Xer. Who defined us? The one, the only, the great Prince. Gen Xer down in front, right there. We're gonna party like it is. 1999! Excellent. Come on, rock on. Prince exemplified. All right. Now that is a Gen Xer. Okay. Prince actually exemplified this whole movement. I'll have a name. No, wait, I'll have a symbol. No, I'll have a name. But I will have individual music that really speaks to a generation, right? This is also called the MTV generation. Who remembers the day MTV went live? Yes, and it was fun, wasn't it? First era, before YouTube, before anything else, what's the video look like? Do you remember Video Killed the Radio Star? Yeah, see, you're all remembering it. Born between 1965 and 1980. Now we tend to be in our 30s to our very, very late 40s. Some of us just turned 50. Defining events. Challenger explosion. I was actually behind the Iron Curtain, so it took me 5 days to catch up, but I remember when it happened. Sex and drugs, which for the baby boomers were sort of this first burst of freedom, now they can kill you. STD, AIDS, stuff that used to sort of like, oh dear, gotta go to the doctor, right? Sex can kill you now. Our generation learned that sex could kill you. Drugs could kill you. You didn't just go to get methadone or go to rehab. This stuff will kill you now. Not safe. Didn't mean we didn't do it, for the record, just isn't safe. The energy crisis. Who remembers being in the car with their parents, probably, in line at the gas station? And who remembers being the driver at the gas station during the energy crisis? How much was gas a gallon then? How much? Come on, shout it out. 75 cents. In today's dollars, actually, it's pretty similar. But you had to stay in line. We are the first generation to have had computers. Some of us took to it like ducks to water and will not be without our toys. Others not, but we're very comfortable with technology in our hands. Who remembers the Trash 80 computers, TRS 80s? With the little green thing wandering around the screen? And writing basic code to make the robot go in a square? That was so cool back then, wasn't it? Okay? Latchkey kids. This is important. This is the first generation that actually, now, this was mostly true in middle-class homes, economically middle-class homes. The upper economic classes and folks in poverty have always had latchkey kids in 2-income, if not 3, 4, 6-income households. Okay, so we are talking about the general culture that you would see on television, what shapes what we see. We're not talking about the stuff we all deal with on a daily basis now. Okay? But latchkey kids were, for the first time, not unknown. They were typical. How many of you went home after school to a parentless house? Yeah, and it was okay, right? You did your stuff, you go home, you do your stuff, you know, whatever, just watch TV, watch MTV once it came on, you know, check it out. This was the era when You're Grounded was like, oh yeah, really, you're here to enforce that? Because I don't think so. But latchkey kids, this is important in terms of our workplace behaviors, okay? This is really important. We're not as hepped up on authority and being told what to do. We are much more independent because our baby boom parents either chose or had to, in many cases it was had to, have a couple of incomes to make that life work, right? So we tend to be very independent. No, I do not have a meeting today, sorry. Balanced. We're typically pretty good at weighing things. We're adaptable because stuff changes all the time now. The world is moving faster. Media is moving faster. Instead of just seeing your hometown newspaper, which might get the big news the next day or the evening news, you're seeing stuff start to happen in real time as far as consuming media and news. Okay? Adaptable, and we're cautiously optimistic. It's probably going to be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. Right? Skeptical, hesitant, and as I mentioned, very comfortable with technology. Not quite like millennials, which you're going to see who were basically born with it, but tend to be very comfortable, right? We've seen this stuff come. We know that computers either go half the cost or double the speed and memory every couple of years, right? We know that if we don't have it now, next year we can buy that computer for about half as much, typically. That's slowed down some, but not a lot. Workplace behaviors. This is where it really starts to move. And this is where we're starting to see pushes now in our workplace that have been going on now for the last 10 years or so. As a generation, we do not live to work. We work in order to live. Our lives are important to us. We require balance. Completely reject that definition of work ethic of being here, putting in your time, being seen doing it. We want to do the job. We want to do it right. We want to do it fast. And then we want to get out. Best thing you can do for a Gen Xer when something's done, tell them to take the rest of the day off. I value it. Even now, I still value it more than anything else. I can make more money. I can't get more time. And time is what I value more. Okay? We tend to be loyal to a person, not to a company, and I've skipped ahead. But we value talent and ability over being in the chair for a long time. This is where, hey, I know about this. I know how this works. So why don't I lead this instead of my senior manager who may know nothing about X, Y, or Z? Well, you haven't been here but a couple of years, so I know this stuff. This is my thing, right? And don't really accept very well being told, wait your turn, put in your time, you'll get to lead eventually. Okay? Here's the key, and here's the one key thing I want you to take away from this. None of these behaviors are right or wrong. They are what they are. And if we dream that our movement is going to continue in the future, what we have to do, starting with these guys and moving into the millennials and then even the next generation, is find ways to work with it to make it work for all of us. Because guess what? One way or another, we are all going to retire or go away someday. I promise you, no one has yet figured out immortality on the job. Nobody. We will go. The question is, how will we go? Will we go into retirement? Will we do a different career? Will we stay put? Will we quit and get tired and go do something else where they'll let us be creative? It will happen one way or another. So the key is figuring out how to work together, which is where we're going to get after we talk about the millennials. Millennial generation. Fancy, right? All the single ladies come up with hands up. Right? Put a ring on it. Jason didn't text till he was 18 months old. Anybody seen that YouTube video of the baby trying to touch screen a magazine? Yeah? Because that baby had had his parents' iPad for so long, it's trying to zoom in on an image. Right? Magazines don't do that. This generation's like, if it's not digital, I'm not there. It's not happening for me. Starting in infancy. So the millennials, here they come, and boy, oh boy, are they cool. Okay, yes, that was for you guys, because it is cool. It's very cool. Born after 1980, also sometimes called Gen At, Gen Y, Gen Next. Some folks tried out Gen Z, but Jay-Z had that trademarked, it turned out, so who knew? 32 and younger, generally. Probably should update this, 33. Columbine. Now it's not the A-bomb. Violence happened across the seas. Now it's not Challenger. Violence happens right here. It happens in your schools, as we know to our sorrow. It happens in your neighborhoods. And it's unpredictable as hell. Anytime, any place, be it movie theaters, military bases, all the stuff we read about, pray about, cry about. This generation, it is surprising that they are as optimistic as they are given what they've grown up in. It really is. You're not safe anywhere now, and they know it better than anybody. Technology. These guys did not know a world before digital. Okay? There wasn't one. As far as they're concerned, texting is the way to go. It's actually considered a little old-fashioned, and Facebook, that's what you use to post pictures for your parents, right? Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, right? It's moving forward at light speed. 9/11 and the Iraq War have really shaped this generation. Just like the changes wrought for the baby boomers of Vietnam showing up in your living room, on the television, on the evening news, these guys have seen it. But unlike going over, stuff's happening right here. People come and go from home all the time on deployments. You see drone warfare starting out. People can be here, literally. They could be here in Jefferson City directing a drone somewhere else. Life is very uncertain, very fragile. And these guys have grown up with that and internalized it. Again, it's a miracle you're as optimistic as you are, millennials. How this translates into workplace behaviors. These guys do have a work ethic. For the record, and I am defending those of you in the room, they have a seriously cool work ethic, but it doesn't look like boomers or even Xers to some degree. It's very individual. What we see here is they value freedom and autonomy. Here's a project, take it, run with it. They have a global outlook. They really want to make the world better. We've seen new levels of volunteerism in this group. We've seen crowdsourced funding for all kinds of neat initiatives for people who have a single thing go wrong. All of a sudden, you put a crowdsourced funding on and $10,000 lands in somebody's pocket to make something better. This group gives and gives of their time, their energy, and their passion. Interestingly, they relate really well to traditionalists, which in light of their penchant for immediate gratification, by the way, boomers, you and Gen X, we did this. We totally did this. We have reinforced, we have taught people in school. Remember the old joke about graduating from 5th grade, a big ceremony? It's like, 5th grade, are you kidding me? Really? People, we have actually taught this generation to want that immediate feedback, that immediate gratification in our schools, in homes, everything else.